Alright, so the last time we talked about trading view, but for those of you who are using your phone, I'm going to show you how you can still do this on your phone. Alright, so you need MT4, MT5. So here I have them on my tab here. So this is MetaTrader 4, this is MetaTrader 5. But if you don't have it downloaded here, this is how you can get it. You go to the search and then you enter MT4 and then you click on it. You can, so this is already downloaded and I open it. Right, if you want MT5 too, that is MT5. So you see the number 4 and 5 between the middle of the two icons. So here you go to the same place, but you enter MT5, right? MT5, this is already downloaded, so I open. So you see the two applications, as I explained the other time, they are the same thing, just that this was the old version and now they have this new version. So in terms of functionality, there's just a slight differences which I might explain later. So most people would use MT4, and I think I explained broker the last time. So most brokers are still using MT4. So when you come to your MT4, you see these tabs here. So you have settings, history, trade, charts, and then quotes, right? So unfortunately, I have no Android device at the moment, so I'm going to explain this with the iPhone. The features are very similar, but they look just a little different. So I'll try and get an iPhone, Samsung from a friend, and then record how you can do this on an Android. But the difference is not that much, but I'll do that. So when you download the MT4, you need to get an account. So you get what we call a demo account. Okay, so you downloaded the account, you come to settings. When you come to settings, you come to new account here, new account, and then you go to open a demo account. So what is a demo account? A demo account is like an account that is not real money in it. It's like artificial money that you can use to practice. So for you to be able to have access to the server and have the chat and everything, you need a demo account to set up on your MT4 to have that. So you go to name. So there are so many brokers, so you can go to one of the brokers I use is Infinox. So you can go to Infinox Capital Demo. So you type Infinox Capital Demo, then you go to demo. So you can put your name there, whatever, but the details does not have to be, you can put anything there. Just make sure you put a name, it doesn't matter. So here, let me just put anything. I'll not put my real name, let me put like anything, right? That is my name. The number 2 can be anything, so let me just put any random number. Then make sure that the number is just like the same thing. Like, make sure like it adds up to the total amount of numbers is supposed to be. And the email too can be anything, because this is not a real account. You're just creating anything. You can just enter anything at gmail.com, anything at yahoo.com, it doesn't matter. And then you choose leverage. So I'll explain leverage to you later. And then you choose account size. Mostly I advise that you choose a very small account, because at some point you're going to use this account to practice how to trade. And some people would choose an account like 500,000, but you don't have 500,000 to trade with. So choose something that is closer to the money you'll be trading in your account. So here I'm choosing 3,000, and I go to register. So here, this is the details of the account, the login and the password. If you like, you can save it, but because you can always create another demo account, mostly I don't save this information. I just go done. Oh, connection is invalid. How come? Right, so I think there is something wrong with my network. That's why that happened. But okay, so I have this old account that I was using with this broker, Maximus FX. I'm no more using the account, so I'll use it for the demonstration. But when you go through that process, that should work out for you, right? It should work out for you. So when you log in the account, you create a demo account. This is actually a live account, as I explained. But if you come here, there is no money in it. I took all the money in the account. I moved the money to another broker. So when you come to here, the code session, this is where the currency you are trading or the instrument, whether it is stocks or crypto or whatever. So this is just MT5. I will explain all these various markets to you later. But when you watch the videos, I want you to comment if there is something that is confusing you and you need more, like you need more explanation to anything, let me know. So here there is just a limited number of instruments here, so we are still on quotes. So if you want to add more, we go here and we go to the plus here. So we go to the plus here and then we click on it. These are all different markets that we can add. So when we go to Forex A, so the names you see here would be different from different brokers. So if you go to Forex A, it shows you some instruments here. So these are Forex instruments. So you click on the plus. So the difference between here and Android is, with Android you don't have that plus, but you just tap on it and it will be added, and you go to done, you go to another plus. You can go to indices. If you want to add indices, some indices, you add plus. If you want Forex B, another collection of Forex pairs, you click plus, and you go back. If you want to add Euro USD, so whatever you want to add, you just click on it and add plus, and you use this icon here to go back. So you want to go back, and these are cryptocurrency. So if you want to add some cryptocurrency to your list, you scroll through and add. So this is Bitcoin, we have Ethereum, this is Ethereum, Litecoin, right? So let's just add those three. Let's go back, let's add some metals. So let's add gold and silver. Let's go back, metals, gold, silver. So this is okay. Let's go back to our code. So now when we come here to our code here, you see now all the things that we've added, they are all here. So there are more things that have been added here. The next part of this that is really important is the chart. So here, chart is where you see the graph, just like the way we saw the graph on what do you call it, the way we saw the graph with the trading view. So I have some things drawn here. Let me delete them so that you don't get confused. So we move from this code, now we are on chart. So the chart is the very recent graph that you've drawn on your charts. So the current one that we have here is AUD card. As I said, if you don't understand it, don't worry yourself about that. We'll go through all this and you know what AUD card and all this means, right? This is just to introduce you to how the MT5 and MT4 work. And then I think there was a comment in the page, and then the person was like, what about those that does not use laptops and still want to be able to do it on their phone? I think that's what the person was referring to. So if that's what you're referring to, I think this would help you. If you want to use just your phone, it's okay, but mostly I don't really advise beginners using phone. The reason is that, you see what I have here, this is showing me the chart from here, right? From here to here. The screen you have is like really small. It doesn't give you the room to see what all the things that is going on, although you can zoom in the chart and all that. But if you have access to less data, if you are seeing this, you feel like this is all the markets that you have, but there are more data. So mostly what I advise you do is that if you want to use your phone, always use your phone sideways like this. Turn the phone sideways so that you can zoom in and then have like a bigger screen like this. If your screen is a little big, you can have at least more data on your screen to be able to make some good decisions still, right? So yeah, if you can truly not get access to a laptop, you can still do it in your phone, but just know that it will be a little difficult for you compared to someone who is using their laptop. But that is just getting used to it. Once you get used to it and you can easily understand and analyze. Very nice. You are okay, and it's even more convenient trading on the phone because your phone is just in your pocket and you can carry it anywhere, and then you still be able to trade. Like a laptop, you need to carry it around, and in Ghana, there is no like internet everywhere. You need to connect it to Wi-Fi and all that. So the phone is very convenient, but mostly when you're starting out, it's a little difficult to use. So let's go back to our normal mode. So here on the chart, the current currency that you open, that is what you see, the chart here. All right. So let's go back to the quotes. So let's say we want to open another one, the first one here, US oil. What we do is we tap on it like that, and these options come: trade, chart, details. So when we go to chart, then it opens the chart. So currently the chart we have here is what? US oil. So we go back to quotes and we come back to charts. US oil is what is saved here, and that is what will be here until we come here and look for another thing. Let's say we are going for Euro JPY. Euro JPY, we open. Now the chart that will be here is what? Euro JPY. Does it make sense? I hope it does. And then the next session is the trade. So if you've entered any trade here, you will see it here. If you're in profit, you will see it. If you are in minus, you will see it. And the balance is the amount of money you have in your account, and your equity is the amount of money you have in the account plus or minus the trade that you currently have. So let's say the money in your account is $100, and the trade that is still running that you have not closed yet is plus $20. It means your balance will be 100, but your equity will be 120. But if your balance is 100 and the trade is, let's say, minus 10, your balance will still be 100, but your equity will be minus 90, because the equity is your balance plus or minus the trade you are running. So what it means is the equity is like, okay, if you have a trade running, if you close it right now, what will be the new balance? That is what the equity is for. And the margin is how much of the balance that you are using for the current trade, and the free margin is how much more trade will you be able to take on based on your account. So these are all a few terminologies that we would look at. So margin, and then free margin would allow you to take new trades. So if your account is small, it means that your free margin would be small. So if you have $100 and you take a number of trades, you see that your free margin would be reduced because you don't have any more free space to enter new trades. So in simple terms, that's what it means. And when you come to history, your history is, if you've closed any trades, those trades will show in your history, right? So I said this is an old account I was using. It's been a while, so that's why I don't have any history for today. History for last week, history for last month. Okay, so I think for last month I took this trade. That was like, I think I was testing out something. So you can go to custom and select like a date. So let's say July 20, from July 2019. Let's see. All right, so from July 2019 I took some trades, and that was a history, minus $18, right? So you can go back to and check your history. The trades you've taken and everything will show here. So these are the three important tabs here: quotes, charts, trade, history, and settings. So settings, you can do a lot of things here. So settings, I'll talk about settings later. But right now, let's come to charts, because this is where you'll be doing the analysis. You'll be doing your analysis. So let's say you are interested in analyzing AUD card. You click on it, as we said, you go to charts, right? And then here on charts, there are some things there that you need to take note of. So you see this H4. The H4 is the time of the candle. H4 means 4 hour, right? If you click on H4, you see a lot of other times here. So we have MN. MN is for months. W1 is for 1 week. D1 is 1 day. H4 is 4 hour, H1 is 1 hour, M30 is 30 minutes, M15 is 15 minutes, M5 is 5 minutes, and M1 is 1 minute. What does it mean? Currently we are on H4. What it means is every single candle you see here, it took 4 hours to form. So if you put this, this is a crosshair, so it's like a pointer that you can put on anything, right? So when we put it on this current white candle here, right, it shows us the date that candle was created. Look, if you look down here, you see it. This candle started at 12 on 11th of February. The next candle started at 16, that is 4 o'clock, and the next candle was 8 o'clock. So you see the distance between the time difference between all the candle is 4 hours. So what this candle is showing is it is measuring the price changes in that period, right? Because we've not looked at how the candles are and how to calculate all this, I'm not going to mention any more details, but what you see is you can change the time from 1 minute, which means that every candle will take 1 minute. You go to 5 minutes, you can change it to 15 minutes, you can change it to 30 minutes, 1 hour, and 4 hour, 1D, 1 week, and MN. So I will explain all this later, right? Right, so another section you should pay attention to, we've talked about this crosshairs, like a pointing to, you want to like know the price when the market was around this point here. You put this one here. So this section here at this side is the price of the currency, and the down here is the date. This is the date here, right? And then F is indicators, which we will talk about them later, so I'm not going to mention anything about them. Where we would focus much time on is these shapes here. So you can see some shapes here, right? Shapes here. So when you click on the shape, you have so many different things here. Let me delete everything here. Right. So when you open it fresh, this is what you have. You have objects. So similar to the video on TradingView, these are shapes that you can use to draw on your charts. So when you go to add objects, you have lines, channels, Gann, Fibonacci, Elliott wave, shapes, right? So let's start from line. So vertical line is to make vertical line on the screen. So when you click vertical line and you tap, then you have this vertical line on your screen. You can see there is a dot at the top and there is a dot down here, right? If there is a dot on it like that, it means you can move it around. When you touch it with your hand and hold, you can drag it around. But when you double tap and the dot disappears, you cannot move it around. When you move it, is the chart that will be moving. The whole chart will be moving like that, right? But when you tap on it like that, it means the line would be moving. So when you tap anything that you've drawn, you tap on it and hold. You see these two tabs will appear: delete or properties. If you want to delete, you click delete. So let's draw it again. We don't want to delete, so we tap and hold, but we go to properties. So with properties, we can change the style. The style, when we click on the style, we can go to the weight. The weight is how thick the line is. So let's go to 4 pixels and go back to save. Done. You see the thickness of the line has now increased. Now let's click hold, go to properties, and then let's go to style and let's go to 1 pixel and go back. Done. You see the line, the thickness of the line has become very thin. So you can do it for anyhow you want it. If you want your lines to be thick or thin, it's up to you. Then you can go to properties again. Let's go to style again. Here you can change the color. So the color is now red. If you don't like red and you like black, then you go to save. Done. And then the color is now black, right? So this is the same for any other two. So the line 2 here, if you come here, you see the next, if you click on add object, the next object is horizontal line. So just the same thing, but just like this line is going sideways, right? So you can move it up because the dots are highlighted. If you double tap on it, you cannot move it up and down again. You can click and hold properties and then change the style to anyhow you want it, right? And then you can change the time frame. So if you draw your line and you don't want it to show on the 1 minute, on the 5 minutes, you want it to show on very specific time frames, you can check the ones you want it to show and all that. So these are all different things. So let's delete. Let's go to another tool. This is the trend line. So the trend line is for drawing a line on the screen. So when you tap, you push it along to draw the line. So here we have three dots, this one, and this one, right? The middle one is to move the graph up and down like that. And then we have this part. You can click on it to move it in and out like that. Yeah. In and out like that. Okay. So if you want to extend the line, you click here and then you move it. You click here and then you move it, and then you can just drag it around with the middle dots, just like the other tools. If you tap and hold, you go to properties, and then you can change the style, you can change the thickness and the color, right? If you come here, ray right means that if you want the line to go into like the future, you see when we had it like this, let's tap on it again, properties, let's uncheck ray right. You see the let me draw this again. So you see when we added a ray right, it means it goes very far into the future, like this is infinity, it is never ending. But when we go to properties and we uncheck the ray right, it means it will just end here. But when we say ray right, it means it will go up and never ending, right? If we say ray left, it means down, the down line will also go down to infinity, right? So we can go back and uncheck it. So this is for, there are different ways of using the trend lines. You can use it to mark certain levels, like let's say you're interested in this level, you can use it to mark a line like this, or connect different levels, like you want to connect these lows, this low and this low. So there are so many different ways. Like there are even strategies that are built around the trend lines and all that. So we'll look at that in details when we are talking about strategy, right? Another line that is important is the arrow. So there's no really any difference between the arrow and then the trend line, just that this one has an arrow on it. So the features and the way you use it is all the same thing, right? And then you don't really need trend by angle that much. Cycle lines, you might not really need them. The next thing you need to know, which is basic, you can also use the channels, the equidistance, the standard deviation channels. But another thing that we'll focus on will be this one, the shapes. So we have rectangle. Rectangle is to draw a rectangle like that. Okay, my battery is like 2%. I'll try and run up, and then if there is a need, I'll do another section. It's better to save the video than let it in the phone. Okay, let me connect my charger. I don't want. Alright, so we are connected to the charger now. So the rectangle tool. So let's go back again. Shapes, add objects, rectangle. So when you draw your rectangle tool, you have three dots. The middle one, the one at this corner here, and the one here. The one in the middle is always to move the whole object around. The one at the top is to stretch the rectangle and down. So with the rectangle, it has two sections. The outer lines, the lines that makes up the outer line, and then the inside. So you can change the properties anyhow you want it. So when you tap on it and you go to properties, you have two sections. You have the color. This, when you go here, you have the pixel. This is for the outer line, right? So if this is yellow, so let's change it to black. So everything is now black. But when we go back to properties, let's click, tap and hold properties and we uncheck the fill, it means the inside will not be filled and we will have just the outer line. So if you want to the inside to be filled, you go and then you click fill. But if you want the inside to be filled, it's good to choose a color that is in line with that would show even when you put it on the chart. So you can choose something like light yellow, right? Oh, light yellow, and then even if it's filled, when you put it on the chart, the candles will still be showing, right? Yeah. And then we have the triangle. Depending on what you are trading, you might not really use the triangle that much. So it also has similar features, 3 dots. So this one has 4 dots. So you have the middle one, this one here, this one here, and this one. You can move it around anyhow you want to draw your triangle. So for me, the strategy I trade is based off geometry. Geometry is one of the strategies I trade. So I use the triangle. So here I see a pattern here, right? I see a pattern here. So here I will use the triangle to draw my pattern around it. But you might not need it because your strategy might be different and you might not use a triangle. So it's not something that people use that much. Right. Another one is the ellipse. So ellipse is mostly used to highlight like levels like this. Like you want to highlight that this is a low, right? But I prefer to use the rectangle too, especially on the phone. The ellipse is like sometimes a little difficult to draw. Yeah. So I think this should be a really good introduction. Another thing that you might use is the Fibonacci 2. Where is it? Fibonacci. So we have Fibonacci retracement. Right. So if I happen to teach you Fibonacci, I'll show you how to use this too. Right. So what you have to do is download the app, play around it, try to draw different things, and then whilst you do it, you come by some mistakes that you need correction and all that, and then you let me know. So you go to settings here, you go to charts, and then you can change your chart from candlestick to bar chart to line chart. But the candlestick is the most commonly used, but sometimes you want to use the line chart for different things, which I would explain to you later. So your graph will now become like a line chart like this. If you want to change it back, you go to settings, and then you go to charts, and then you select candlesticks, right? So we have if you want to show trade levels, so if you go to trade levels and you uncheck it, it means if you are sending an analysis to someone and you have a trade, a level that you've entered your trade, and you uncheck this one, the trade will not be showing. But if you check it, the person will see where your trade is. And then when you come to colors here, you can change the color of the candle. So you have bull candle, bear candle, fall background, and all this. So when we talk about bull and bear candles, you would get to know how this actually works and how you can change the colors that you have. So currently, if you come to the chart, my colors are out, black and white. I can change them to a different color. So if I go to chart colors, I can change them to, let's say I want to change my bull candles to black as well. So everything is now black. You can do it anyhow you want it, right? So everything is now black like that. Yeah. So that is basically it. So when you get this, let me know and we'll proceed from there.